From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
Right now, I-235 is shut down near I-44, meaning hundreds of thousands of drivers are having to find a way around it. Some progress today as crews work to finish before Tuesday. We've got you back with what you need to know about this project before you head out. Fox 25's Will Metzold is live with why this construction is drawing such a crowd of spectators.
Yeah, Maria, it's a rare sight right now as you look at the highway, completely dark. No cars on the road right now as a second railroad truss gets set to be put into place over the highway tomorrow. While over here, this is where people were watching all of this go on earlier today. A big piece of the I-235 construction project being put into place on Saturday. One of the new railroad trusses is now over the northbound lanes of the highway, which is completely shut down near I-44 this weekend.
This is a long, drawn-out project, but it was designed with the motorists in mind, in that we did build these bridges off-site and we used the transporters to move them in to minimize the closure of the interstate.
The construction companies working on the project gave an update on Saturday morning. Reed Greenhill with Allen Construction says things are running on schedule so far.
We're here today just to get this done and move forward. This is a keystone in the project, and the next steps will be the improvements to the roadway below.
Construction workers spent Saturday putting the first truss into place and getting the second one ready to go in beside it. The work drew a big crowd out to the viewing area that is at the end of 50th Street, including Paula Hearn.
We just want to see it all come together and figure out how it goes, how the train gets under the 50th Street Bridge, and it's like a puzzle. We're trying to figure out how it fits together.
As someone who lives near the highway, she's been checking in on how this massive project is going.
You can still use the road, but it's very difficult and inconvenient right now because it's very curvy and the speed limit is really low and there's a lot of merging issues, and so we're excited about the progress.
But for today, she and others were enjoying watching it all happen.
It looks good, as far as I can tell.
Well, this is all part of an $88 million project expected to be finished next year. The highway behind me is expected to be completely reopened by Tuesday, but could possibly open earlier. Maria.
We do have your back with some alternate routes during that construction. You'll be seeing the green lines here. They are city street alternate routes, and the blue ones are interstate options. Now, instead of taking I-235, you can use I-35, I-40, I-44, and State Highway 74. Lincoln Boulevard, MLK, and Class N are also good options. Be sure you tune in to Good Day OK Monday morning starting at 5 a.m. for full coverage of the highway shutdown. Before you head into work, we'll have those alternate routes for you and live looks every 10 minutes at traffic conditions around the metro. Tonight, a man charged with second-degree murder accused of crashing into two teens and killing them is in jail now. David Copeland was arrested today. Sean Tucker and Luke Ross were killed last month in the intersection of Northwest 150th and Mustang Road in Piedmont. Reports show Copeland was going 106 miles per hour when he crashed into the back of the pickup that Tucker and Ross were in. Police say Copeland's blood alcohol level was 2.5 times the legal limit. He is now in the Canadian County Jail. Now to a breaking news update. Fire investigators are looking into what caused a fire in a condemned building today. It happened around 2 this afternoon near Reno and Lottie. The Oklahoma City Fire Department tells Fox 25 the building was scheduled to be demolished soon. Much of the building had already collapsed before the fire.
We did have a report that there were homeless people that were staying here in the building. And when we arrived on scene, we had a report initially that we had an incendiary act here.
After more investigation, fire officials say it does not appear the fire was set on purpose. No one was hurt. Happening today, the community came together to remember the life of a missing pilot who disappeared while on a mission to help animals. Friends and family gathered at St. Eugene Church today to honor Dr. Bill Kinsinger of Edmond. Earlier this month, his plane disappeared over the Gulf of Mexico. He was on the trip to rescue a disabled dog from Austin. Fellow volunteers with Pilots in Paws tell Fox 25 Kinsinger made the trips out of the goodness of his heart and that he was a great pilot. His plane was never found. Kinsinger is survived by his wife, 2 sons, and 2 stepchildren. Right now, Southeast Texas families trying to recover from the devastation of Hurricane Harvey are dealing with another problem. Nearly a foot of rain that swamped the area today. You can see some of that damage here. About 10 inches of rain fell today in the city of Port Arthur. Some homes flooded, some homes of people that were rebuilding after Harvey devastated the area in August. Officials say debris left over from Harvey and drainage issues caused that water to back up. A couple that was preparing to have a baby shower and also move back into their home is now dealing with flooding from today's heavy rains.
Yeah, throughout the house it's pretty much just 2 or 3 inches. Just enough to mess everything up real good.
Yeah. And it's you and your family here?
Yeah, my wife, she's pregnant. You know, we're about to be moving back in, hopefully have our baby shower here pretty soon. But yeah, my wife and my daughter.
Other areas in Jefferson County saw some street flooding. Beaumont had a few inches of rain, but no street or home flooding.
Well, all of that rain is pushing off to the east right now. You can see it right here with this cold front and low pressure system moving off in towards the American Southeast. But high pressure for Oklahoma kept us nice and clear, kept us nice and dry. It also kept us a little bit on the cool side as we did have some strong northerly winds. Right now, nice and clear in Oklahoma City. Not really a cloud to be seen no matter where you are in the city itself. And we do generally have some calm winds out towards Shawnee, dead on 0. Same thing with Tonga and Enid, 6-mile-an-hour winds in Oklahoma City. So that means that with that and relative humidity values very, very low, 30% in Oklahoma City, we are expecting another pretty cold night. Expect temperatures to get down to about 30 degrees, which is about normal for this time of year with those light winds and clear skies. As we go through the early morning hours for tomorrow, getting up and out for your morning services, 36 degrees at 8 a.m. Definitely need a jacket for that, but by the time you're getting home from maybe some of your later things, 56 degrees and lots of sunshine. Temperatures tomorrow will top out into the low 60s for Oklahoma City and further out to the west as well. We have another warmer day to come, plus another cold front and high fire danger. All that in your Storm Watch forecast.
All new at 9, an innocent woman has died after a man crashed into her car during a police chase in Tahlequah. Police say Aram Catron was trying to get away from officers after being caught shoplifting. Officers say that he nearly hit a car head on and then ran a stop sign and slammed into the woman's car at an intersection. Some who live in the area say police should have stopped the chase before it turned deadly. But Tahlequah police say that it's hard to know what to do in these kinds of situations.
It's really easy after the fact to say we shouldn't have chased, or we should have chased, or we should have kept trying to see who he was. Marshall, I believe, had the safety of citizens at heart when he initiated his lights and sirens. He was trying to prevent the man from continuing to drive recklessly in Tahlequah.
The woman has been identified as Melinda Phillips. Catron is now in critical condition at a hospital. Tonight, a tow truck driver is dead after being hit by a semi at the Will Rogers Turnpike. It happened yesterday afternoon in the westbound lanes near Claremore. OHP says Jonathan Taylor was responding to a truck that was broken down on the highway. Taylor and the truck's driver were on the side of the road when the semi veered towards them, hitting Taylor. The other man was not hurt. The crash is still under investigation. Now in international news, the Taliban is taking responsibility for a car bomb which was caused the death of at least 95 people and more than 100 were injured in Afghanistan. Government officials say the attacker used an ambulance to get through a checkpoint in Kabul, telling police that he was transporting a patient to a nearby hospital. He then detonated the explosive at a second checkpoint in an area near foreign embassies and government buildings. This comes a week after a deadly attack on the Intercontinental Hotel, which the Taliban also claimed responsibility for. Tonight, 86 people in Texas and Oklahoma are in custody after an illegal immigration crackdown. Federal ICE officers made the arrests during a 3-day sting this week. 11 of the arrests happened here in Oklahoma City, 5 in Tulsa, and 70 in Texas. ICE says most of the people targeted in this sting had prior criminal history. Tonight, Democrats are criticizing President Trump's call for a $25 billion for the border wall and his proposed path to citizenship for the Dreamers. They say that the money would be better spent addressing the country's other needs. Fox News correspondent Ellison Barber reports.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called the White House's framework guidance that, quote, indicates what is necessary for the president to sign a bill into law. He added, I am hopeful that as discussions continue in the Senate on the subject of immigration, members on both sides of the aisle will look to this framework for guidance as they work towards an agreement. Before the White House's outline made its way to Congress, a senator involved in bipartisan immigration talks said talks in the Senate would continue regardless of what happens at the White House.
We're not going to be locked down by thinking about what the House might do or what the White House might do. We're going to move on our own.
The White House hasn't released a complete blueprint of their proposal, only a framework, but already there are critics on the left and the right.
They want the ransom for these children to be $25 billion for a wall when we have all the needs that we have for infrastructure in our own country.
If the president serves up 1.8 million people for an amnesty in exchange for $25 billion for a wall, and then reduces the numbers of chain migration that come in, that's the end of his enforcement that he's going to get in his administration unless we come up with another amnesty.
Some key conservatives like Senator Tom Cotton say they like the White House's proposal. Cotton called it generous and humane, a balance between protecting dreamers and securing the border. In the past, some on Capitol Hill said they were frustrated because many felt like they didn't know exactly what President Trump wanted in an immigration proposal. Leader McConnell suggesting in his statement that this is clarity. In Washington, I'm Ellison Barber, Fox News.
Back here at home, federal regulators say an Oklahoma circus did not violate any laws when they moved 4 elephants into another trailer on the side of the road. Carson and Barnes Circus moved the animals near Eufaula after the floor of the trailer hauling them began to give way. That happened on Wednesday. The trailer floor was dragging on the road, sparking grass fires. After being transferred, the elephants were moved to a vet before being taken to Iowa for a show. A spokesperson from the circus says that they work hard to make sure that the animals are well taken care of.
Every night we go to bed, we get up that next morning with the intention of working better and harder for our babies. Our babies just happen to be 8,000-pound elephants.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture said yesterday Carson and Barnes Circus followed procedure. The circus said in a statement that the elephants are healthy and safe. The flu season hitting hard across the nation right now. Coming up, we've got your back with how your winter clothes may be making you sick and how often experts say you should really be washing them. In political news, did President Trump call for special counsel Robert Mueller to be fired last year? A source close to the matter says that Trump made the request last June, but White House counsel Don McGahn refused to order the Justice Department to fire Mueller. The New York Times was first to report on Trump's request, but Trump denies the incident ever happened.
Fake news, folks, fake news. Typical New York Times fake stories.
According to the source, McGahn turned down Trump's request because he disagreed with it. Mueller is currently investigating any possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia during last year's presidential election. Trump denies any collusion taking place. In health news, the flu killing Americans in numbers not seen in nearly a decade. Some estimates say 50,000 will die before this season ends. In some places, patients are overwhelming hospitals as even the flu vaccine appears ineffective. Molly Line reports.
This flu season may prove to be the worst in nearly a decade. The CDC reports the flu is widespread, striking across the nation. Only Hawaii has been spared the brunt of this brutal and deadly season. The old and the young are particularly vulnerable. The life of 12-year-old Dylan Winnick of Coral Springs, Florida, was claimed this past Tuesday on January 23rd. He was a student at the Okahili Community Middle School, where his friends and classmates are mourning.
He was nice, like you would never see him without a smile on his face or something. Like every single time in first period, he would always make everybody laugh. You would never see him sad or anything. I was really sad because he's like one of my best friends.
37 pediatric deaths have been reported this season, and U.S. health officials expect there will be more in the coming weeks, ominously comparing this year to the 2014-15 season, when there were 148 pediatric deaths reported for that total year. This year's main flu strain, the influenza A virus, known as H3N1, is especially virulent, and overall vaccine effectiveness is lower. The CDC tracking reveals that last week, 1 out of 15 doctor visits were for symptoms of the flu. That's the highest level since the swine flu pandemic of 2009.
We've been following and talking with the state health departments, asking them what kind of flu activity they're seeing. And this is the third week in a row where 49 out of 50 states are still indicating that there is widespread activity in their states. So we've not had that 3 weeks of 49 states since we've been collecting this information.
And the flu season is far from over. We are only halfway there. Health officials continue to urge people to stay home if you're sick, cover your cough, and if you have not yet done so, get the flu shot. In New York, Molly Line, Fox News.
We've got your back with something that you may not realize could be making you sick: your winter clothes. It turns out keeping your winter gear clean can go a long way toward keeping you healthy. You probably wear your gloves, scarf, and coat without washing them. According to a microbiologist in Arizona, 3 months is just too long. He says bacteria and germs can build up on your winter clothes, which can make you sick.
Yeah, I should wash them more often, come to think of it. Go to the gas station and just everything I do, I have my gloves, but I never think about actually washing.
Your hand warmers are the worst offenders. According to the experts, gloves are hotbeds for germs. They should be washed every 4 weeks. Your scarf is constantly touching your face and your hair. Experts say that you need to wash that at least once a month. As for your winter coat, it should be cleaned at least 3 times during the winter season, and make sure that it's laundered before you put it away for the season. Otherwise, germs can fester in your closet until next year. New tonight, honeybees dying by the billions every day. Last year, hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria not only took human lives and caused widespread destruction, they drowned billions of bees in Florida, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and Texas. The reduced numbers are impacting crop pollination and honey production. Researchers at the USDA Honeybee Laboratory in Maryland found a product named Bee Vita Plus may help bee populations thrive in the hive.
We clearly show how we control the varroa mites while we simultaneously feed the honeybees and strengthen their immune systems. We will save the honeybees.
Why do Americans need to be concerned about keeping honeybees alive in the country? Is because 1 in every 3 bites of food we eat comes from honeybees.
Pollination season for melon and berry crops in Florida starts February 1st. The loss of honeybees during Hurricane Irma may have a huge impact on that industry. The number of teens eating Tide Pods is skyrocketing. Despite recent warnings from health experts, poison control centers reported 39 cases of teens being exposed to detergent in Tide Pods in 2016. That number jumped to 53 in 2017. But now the agency is reporting that there have been 86 cases from January 1st to January 21st this year alone. Teens eating Tide Pods following the dangerous trend. Tide did take action to stop people from eating the pods by putting more warning labels, making PSA ads. Procter & Gamble makes the pods and told Fox Business that they do not have any plans to discontinue the product detergent packets.
I don't understand that thing. Like, maybe just don't eat laundry detergent. Just try that one out. Enjoy your night. Just go outside. It's going to be cold out there, but it's going to be clear, light winds, average temperatures 30 degrees. Leave the laundry detergent on your clothes. You know, take the other advice that Maria had. Wash your winter clothes. Don't eat the laundry detergent. Enjoy the nice calm conditions, which are going to continue into tomorrow morning. 3-mile-an-hour winds by about 11 a.m. We are going to be seeing some nice warm conditions by about noon. Check that out. We're up to about 56 degrees. Generally light winds, but a high fire danger because it's going to be so dry out there, and we have not seen much by way of any rain. I've got your full forecast with when the high fire danger will finally end coming up in your Storm Watch forecast.
From the Fox 25 studios in Oklahoma City, this is the Fox 25 Primetime News at 9.
New tonight, Tulsa police officers are pelted with rocks while trying to make an arrest. It started when police tried to pull over a driver without a tag light. The chase ended near an apartment complex. When trying to take the suspect into custody, around 50 people started yelling at officers, some even throwing rocks at them. Police say in these situations it's best not to let it escalate, but still focus on the task at hand.
So we have so many variables that pop up, because what we should be concerned with is when we stop an individual, we should only, in reality, have to worry about that individual in that car.
Officers shot pepper balls at the crowd to keep them back. Eventually, they did move the evidence away from the complex to keep everyone safe. New tonight, a federal judge has ruled the city of Tulsa violated the Civil Rights Act when it retaliated against a black police officer who objected after being ordered to march in a Martin Luther King Day parade. Captain Walter Busby Jr. claims that he was ordered to march in the parade in 2010 and was denied time off during the march. The judge ordered the city to remove a negative performance evaluation against Busby. The judge also ordered the city to credit him with over 450 hours of vacation and sick leave that he took following the reassignment. Here in Oklahoma City, business owners on Northwest 23rd are putting more of a focus on safety after an officer shoots a man. Officer Mark List shot Jason Smith outside of Gator Auto Repair on Thursday. Police say Officer List was helping a driver when he heard a loud noise and Smith shot at him. Business owners say this doesn't happen often in their neighborhood.
Man, you're safe to come up here. Like I said, this is not normal up here. This is very unusual, and I could never see it happening again in my lifetime.
Smith is expected to survive. Tonight, Officer List is on paid administrative leave. Hundreds of new jobs are coming to Oklahoma. Kratos Defense and Security Solutions is opening design and production facilities in Oklahoma City. It's a deal led by Congressman Steve Russell. The company was offered several incentives by the state, including the Engineers Tax Credit and the Quality Jobs Program. Governor Fallin says several factors placed Oklahoma ahead of the competition.
We're competitive because of our cost of land, our workforce, our cost of employment, our utility costs are 22% below the national average. And so we have a lot of very positive things going for us.
Kratos expected to bring some 350 to 500 new jobs to the state. They are currently occupying a facility near the airport, and they'll expand into a more permanent facility near Tinker Air Force Base.
It was a beautiful day today, and it's turning into a beautiful night. Nice clear skies, a little bit on the cool side in Oklahoma City, but it is January, so record low temperatures are way down below zero, and we are not going to get anywhere like that. High pressure in control for Oklahoma. Low pressure pushed off to the east with all that rain. Saw a little bit of that moisture push through central Oklahoma last night, but not a whole lot of anything going on right now. We are talking about the lack of rain in far northwest Oklahoma. Check out Woodward, Alva, not a trace of rain in the past 30 days. Clinton, 1/100th of an inch of rain in the past 30 days. And actually, I dug into it. The last time Clinton saw more than 1/10 of an inch of rain was back in early October. So northwest Oklahoma desperately needs the rain, and that's shown on our drought monitor right here. Extreme drought in far northwest Oklahoma, severe drought in central and eastern Oklahoma, and then moderate drought basically everywhere else in Oklahoma. For